It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports, and we've got a showdown in the NFC North. It's the Lions and the Bears. All that and more coming up next on EA Sports.
One of the great venues to watch a game in any sport, and one of the best home crowds in any sport, Soldier Field in Chicago. Today we kick off the new year with an NFC North matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. With my good friend Charles Davis in the booth, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and the moment has finally arrived, CD. It's time to begin a new NFL season.
Partner, there's no hiding my excitement as I got ready this morning. I could not wait to get here for this game. Imagine what it's like out there on the field for those players, though. OTAs, training camp, preseason has all led to this moment when they officially kick this one off to get the season underway.
The ball on the tee, we're set for football. And off we go from Soldier Field. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
Coming out of Ohio State, one of the top prospects in the NFL draft, and it was so big that they moved up in the draft to get him, to make sure that they had him. And, boys, he got the full package. Loves the game, big-time arm, 4.4 speed, so good that another quarterback prospect said to him, "What's it feel like to run 4.4? Everybody wants to be that fast."
Now Fields. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Back to the air, Fields on second down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. From the gun on third down, Fields. This one swung out to Montgomery. And he will have the Bears first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. Well, that's how you use your safety valve, CD. He didn't appear to be the intended target, but they got it to him, and he was able to get just enough to pick up the first.
And what a great example of where we are right now in the NFL, because if you're a running back, you're not just going to carry it. You got to catch it out of the backfield as well. Those combo guys, they're the ones everyone wants on their team.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. On 2nd and 11 now, Fields. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here comes the Bears punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterbacks down to get 6'5".
I tell you what, when he's on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Throwing to start the drive, Jennings. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding, offense,
That's on the tackle, Penei Sewell.
Still first down.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Back to throw. Jennings. Pass incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Looking to throw. Jennings. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. Give him 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Nice job there, forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game. Watching him try to take away that area of the field.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. They'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Bears take over. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
To throw is Fields. Flush to his right. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Here comes the Bears punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. From the gun on 3rd down, Jennings. And he fires one, but incomplete. Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. .47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down. Looking to throw on second down. Fields. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. A shotgun snap. Fields. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Andrew Booth puts it on. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
Detroit's offense ready to take over. They'll have very good starting field position here after the turnover as they search for the first points of the ball game. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Swift. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Right back to Swift again on 2nd down. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. On 3rd down, Jennings. And that will be incomplete. Now Jake Elliott for the field goal try. Will be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. And that is no good. And this will remain a scoreless game.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And, partner, I know so far, we're still in the first half, but you love this game as a defensive guy. 0-0. We'll see if the offense can get going on this drive.
Well, you know how they talk about music to your ears? How about what it does for your eyes when you watch something like this, right, where these teams are locked in and going at it, no points going up on the scoreboard. I'm loving it. You're exactly right.
Well, switch over, though, to an offensive mindset for a moment. What do they need to do here to get on track and get some points?
I think a couple of ways. Number one, you pull out something that maybe they haven't seen before. Coaches always talk about unscouted looks. Maybe you give them something that they haven't seen on tape, and now you shock them that way. The second, run your basic playbook, but run it so well that you give your skill position guys a chance to make big plays individually.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. Fields now to throw. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions 33. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the 1st.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Up the middle, it's Montgomery. The tackle there by Malcolm Rodriguez. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Fields. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. We're scoreless after 1. Back in Chicago, ready for the 2nd quarter. It's the Bears in possession. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Here's Fields. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And his kick here is good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. A good gain on first, has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. They will run straight ahead with Swift, finding space at the 40. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Jennings. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. This offense so far on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll try and run this one right, and he fumbled it. It's on the ground.
The ball carried by the running back. Fumble on the play. Recovered by
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jennings. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Jamison Williams, 32 yards. And the Lions have taken the lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Onto the field now come the Bears. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Now it's Fields. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Aiden Hutchinson in there to get him once again. That's 2 sacks for him now here on opening day. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Here comes the Bears punter now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
First down, and they go with Swift again. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
That's some good hard running there as he'll push his way forward for about 5. On second down, Swift. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 52 yards rushing for him in this first half as he is looking in mid-season form here in the opener.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jennings. Throws out left, it's caught by Williams. And in for the Lions, touchdown. Jamison Williams. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend, as his guys are able to extend their lead. So a good start to the campaign so far for them here in week 1.
Yeah, all the things that you dreamed about in April and May and that you worked on in July and August, getting ready for this game, it's all coming together so far.
Elliott now to add the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was Jamison Williams wrapping things up with a touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Chicago offense set to get started. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Fields. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Even against double coverage, he's got enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Off the option, here's Montgomery. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Back to Montgomery on second down. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Fields. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
On 1st down, it's Fields. Steps away to his left. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 44 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And they'll get him down right around the 16. From the 16, Fields. And the pressure gets there. He'll go down. It's a sack. And it is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured bear on the field. While the medical staff checks on him, we'll step aside in this Week 1 contest. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Now Fields. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. And his kick is right there. It's good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So the margin shrinks a bit as back-to-back drives here for him and with field goals.
Yeah, we know no one's turning down 3, especially in the first half, but you've got to finish these drives in the end zone. That's got to be a priority. Nice to have a reliable kicker, but outside of his agent, you know you'd rather him kick 1-pointers instead of 3-pointers.
And he won't quite make it to the 25. Well, let's shine the spotlight on the former Georgia Bulldog, DeAndre Swift, who's set to begin this next drive. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they've targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not
because
at all.
Those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a first down.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jennings. That pass caught. It's Williams. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamison Williams on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Lions are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead.
Well, if the plan is to come in here and go toe-to-toe with these guys, it certainly does not hurt if you hit them with a big shot along the way, too.
That's got to give them some confidence. And the other thing right now, it quiets this crowd, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that is what is called the intended consequence of their actions.
Elliott good with a PAT, and the lead is up to 15 now. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. 2nd and 10. Fields again. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. On 3rd down, they go Montgomery. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And taken right on the 30. It'll be a net of only 30 here. 40-yard punt, 10 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense. He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the 2nd quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you, because you always want to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all of those things? But the best players show up each and every week. Solid games and some spectacular ones.
And he has showed up time and time again. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
And the Bears in the nickel. No, wait, they're in the dime. 6 DBs out there on 3rd.
Could play an exotic coverage.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
This offense in midseason form here in the opener. It's 1st and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will extend their lead even further. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
And Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. He'll take the knee in the final couple seconds will take in this 1st half. So we reach halftime here on opening weekend as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll begin up at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay. And it's the Packers who have the lead in that one. Darius Slayton, a touchdown reception. From there, we head down to the Sunshine State to check on the Jaguars at home in Jacksonville. And they have the lead over the visiting New York Jets. Christian Kirk up over 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdown grabs. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting New Orleans Saints. Leonard Fournette with a touchdown run. Time now for a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Lions. And it was important for them to get the season off on the right foot. And they've done just that, thanks to a very solid outing by their passing offense thus far. Meanwhile, for the Bears, we check on their numbers on the ground in the first half, as they know they'll need to be better to overcome this halftime deficit.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. Jameson Williams and the Lions get set for this next possession. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL, except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
On first down, Jennings. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be second down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Off play action. Jennings. Williams brings it in. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 31-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets, because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Once again, it's Swift. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. From the gun on 3rd down, Jennings. And they're going to get this down to about the...
I don't care how many times we see it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Swift going to try up the middle. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 14-yard line.
Right back to Swift again on 2nd down. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
Yeah, and on 3rd down, you know those pass rushers, they're in the starter's block. They're just waiting for the pistol to fire. You can almost hear the defensive coaches on the sideline pre-snap. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Really good job there of identifying it and making the play to force 4th down.
Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get Keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He'll begin by dropping it off to Montgomery. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
He was brought down at the 26.
On 2nd and 9, Fields. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Aiden Hutchinson able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive.
Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. They'll set up a throw. Completes this one to Meredith. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the 1st. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop it well short.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And he fields it cleanly. It'll be a 39-yard punt. Give him a good 10 yards on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense. A monster game so far, 3rd quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers,
Absolutely.
though, who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in a route or they get open early, but they just always find a way, and he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. To throw on 3rd down. Jennings, man open, it's St. Brown, he's got it. And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10. On the handoff, this is Swift. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. This is Swift on the counter. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st. Looking to throw. Jennings. And that is incomplete. Here's Jake Elliott. Career long, by the way, for him, 61 yards. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright, and the lead will hold at 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You've got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Boy, you always hate to see injuries, especially tough here in week 1. Just hoping this is nothing serious. We'll take a quick timeout. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Out of the gun, Fields. Escaping and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. This is taken at about the 14. 39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. Jamison Williams and the Lions get set for this next possession. He's hoping to take what has been a good game here and make it a great game. So far, solid, and we're still in the 3rd quarter.
And there's nothing wrong with solid. You want to be that. You want to be reliable. You want to be a guy that puts your team in a position to have a chance to win. And that's what we're seeing from him. And there's also that added element that maybe it can become a little bit more as this game goes on.
He'll try to make it more here on this drive. To throw on 2nd down, Jennings. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And that's good for a gain of 6. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. To throw is Fields. Going right side here, and that's complete. And the Bears are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed it up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
Back to throw. Fields. And he's got Mooney in the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Bears are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will be cut down to 14. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense. He sort of just keeps chipping away at this defense. Hasn't had a spectacular game, but here in the 3rd quarter, they've known all game long that he's there.
He's the type of guy that frustrates you if you're playing defense, because when you think you've taken away something or you think you've got him in check, he comes up with another catch, the chains move, or he finds a way to get it to the end zone. He's that guy that drives you crazy, and offenses love him.
He's hoping to drive him more crazy here coming up. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Looking to throw on second down. Jennings. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete. The Lions on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. 77 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jennings. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll bring up second down. They run out of the gun with Swift, and this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. They'll try and run here with Swift. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And he's got room. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. That good for 19 and a first down.
And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. On 3rd down, Jennings. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 12-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Looking to throw. Jennings.
He'll find Williams on the slant.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They'll look to throw again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit.
Amon-Ra St. Brown from 8 yards out. And the Lions are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their 4th quarter lead.
Turning into a really good performance on the road. Week 1, you're just hoping for that first win. It's tough to do it away from home, though, but they're looking strong.
It certainly is. Any road win in the NFL is a great road win. I mean, it just does not matter whether it's supposed to be tough or not. In this particular situation, how great will they feel leaving with a win on the road against a tough opponent?
A little work still to do, though. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. These fans just kind of beside themselves right now. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. To throw again on second down. Fields looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Montgomery. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And it'll be a third and about 13.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Here's Fields. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Gets it to Meredith, complete.
Fields pass, complete to number 17. A gain of 2. Brings up second
to the air again, Fields.
44-yard line.
And that is incomplete here. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Fields now to throw. And that is incomplete.
Incomplete on the default. It's now 4th down.
4th down. Fields has to have this one. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Right back to Swift again on second down. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. From the gun on 3rd down, Jennings. He's going to get that to Swift underneath. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
A gain of 9 yards.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's a handoff to Swift. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They run, it's Oliver. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Back to throw. Jennings. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Lions up the lead to 4 scores now here in this 4th quarter. Well, Charles, no matter what the prognosticators say before the season, whether they think you're going to be good, bad, or somewhere in the middle, you never quite know how week 1 is going to play out. But for them, it has been an impressive performance, and they are well on their way to a 1-0 start.
Yeah, it's a lot like opening up presents, isn't it, partner? You're not quite sure what's inside, but you're hopeful, right? In this case, exactly what they were looking for, exactly what they need.
Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. This looks like a roughing call. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Here's Fields. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. From the gun, here's Fields. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
Fields pass complete to number 89. A 5-yard gain.
To throw again on 2nd down. Fields completes a Mooney on the slant. And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And that is incomplete.
Intended for Darnell Mooney. Incomplete. Andrew Booth there.
On 4th down, Fields. That's complete to Meredith. And he is going to have the Bears first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. Going up top. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Fields. That's caught by Montgomery. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Oh, had his hands on it. Couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here we go on 4th down. Fields. And this is caught. And he doesn't quite make it. Taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Back to throw. Fields. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. The 10-play drive that time. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. The Bears send the kicking team out there, and they will send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And able to get this out to the 25. The Lions offense set to take over.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season, and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for Detroit, hey, you get a win, you get it on the road. You can't ask for much more than that to start the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Meanwhile, for Chicago, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons.